Hello, this is RICKY, the Android guy. Today I'm going to be going over to headliner tablets right now, and that is the Asus Transformer Pad 300 versus the Acer Iconia 510 Olympic Edition. So these are two tablets that are both under $500. The Acer being at $449 for the 32 gig, and the Asus being at $399 for the 32 gig. So we're going to compare these and see which one's the best and which one's worth your money in the end. Alright, starting off with just the feel in the back, I definitely love the Acer's feel a lot better, but it's definitely heavier, and it's noticeably heavier than every other tablet I've felt, including the long heavyweight, the Thrive. It just feels heavier than all of them. Whereas the Asus, I don't really care for the back. Now, it is scratch resistant and dust resistant and fingerprint and all that, but I just, it's not as nice feeling as, like, obviously the Transformer Prime. Now, in terms of cameras, it's going to easily go to the Asus, just 8 megapixel versus 5. I'll show you snapshots of those. And sound quality, it's going to go to the Acer. You have a stereo speaker system versus a little mono speaker system. Asus, we want stereo. Alright, now in terms of ports, these guys both have the micro USB and micro... Oops, let me just show you guys. Micro USB and micro HDMI connections. The nice thing about the Acer, however, is it also comes with the micro USB to female USB adapter. So that's something that's really nice that the Acer has that comes with it. Now, in terms of built-in software, they both run Android 4.0, which is relatively stock. They both have a Tegra 3 processor, so they both run pretty fast. In my experience, the Transformer tends to run a little bit faster, as you see with live wallpaper, in comparison to the Acer. However, the Transformer gets stuck at times. I've noticed, and this could be easily fixed with the update that we have not gotten in the US, but it has been overseas already, that basically when you are like downloading stuff, the Transformer like doesn't want you to do anything else because it just tends to really freeze or slow down or something like that. So that is one thing that I'm assuming will be easily fixed with an update, but just something that it has an issue with right now that I've noticed. When it is downloading stuff, it doesn't always perform the best at doing other tasks at the same time. Whereas when I was downloading all my apps with the Acer, I could do plenty of things. You know, I could do other things at the same time, and it was no problem. So these are two definite things that I just wanted to point out. Now, in terms of interface, Asus doesn't really have any interface on top of 4.0. Acer, however, put a nice added additional interface right here, which is a ring where you can customize apps to put on there, customize a little volume rocker built in on the touchscreen, and just a little nice part that you can put on top of whatever else you're doing. So that's something that I really like about the Acer that the Asus doesn't have because it's more just stock. Including even when you actually first load it on the Acer, one thing that a lot of my friends like is this. You can actually go to an app right then and there on the ring. Now, of course, you can get widget unlockers so that you can customize that on the Asus, but it's just nice to have it built in. Now, in terms of web browsing, let's both go to website. I think the Asus is finally done with all that stuff. I was trying to talk while the Asus was doing its thing because, like I said, otherwise it will take a little bit longer, just like it did to load the website. Alright, so in terms of web browsing, you can kind of see... Well, to be fair, the Asus is still loading, actually. But just in terms of web browsing and responsiveness, well, the pinch to zoom is seeming to take a little bit longer on the Acer, while the Asus scrolling is nowhere near as fluid as the Acer scrolling. The Acer scrolling is a little bit better in comparison to the Asus's scrolling. They're both quad core, so they're both pretty good overall, of course, but just definitely some lag here and there. I don't know if it's just with these tablets that they've been having, like, just they need to kind of fix a couple of things. I never felt anything like this on the Prime or on the Galaxy tablet. So just from experience of owning Android tablets and playing around with them a lot, I just noticed a bit of inconsistency on these two tablets. Just something that's frustrating. Again, that could be easily fixed with an update. But for now, it's just a little frustrating. Now, in terms of playing music, let me just play a song right here on the Acer. And so, in terms of the Acer, really loud. It has a Dolby stereo speakers, so it's going to be really strong speakers in comparison. Now, as where the Asus, it closed down on me while I was playing that. Let me just try to get something. Just trying to get any song for you guys. Now this is going to be a mono speaker. Now if I remember correctly, the Asus was pretty loud, but it just annoys me to no end that it's mono. I know it's not like a big deal for everyone, but it's something that it shouldn't be at this stage in tablets, that all of them should be stereo speaker. It should just be a basic prerequisite. So again, it's pretty loud, but the fact that it's only coming from one side, it just really isn't good. And it's not as clear. It's not as clear. It's loud, but not as clear. Whereas the Acer definitely has the clear ones. Now, in terms of playback for video, let's go to both of them. And let's bring up this video. And let's play it. And we'll start from the beginning, just so you guys can see it.
You were made to be ruled. To be every man's own song. Get ready. There was an idea. Bring together a remarkable people. So when we needed them,
Alright, so here's the thing, guys. I would say, comparing these two, that in terms of video quality, they're both pretty good. However, the Acer tends to be a little bit brighter, I would say, whereas the Asus has a better color reproduction. Now I wanted to pause it to show you guys this specifically, but so that's what I would say. This one is a little bit brighter, but this one has a better color reproduction. You can see the darker tones more easily on this one, but definitely the colors just pop more on this one. So that's it for video playback. And now in terms of camera, it is a camera on a tablet, so right away, do not expect the best. Alright. Let's go to the camera on both of them and show you the shots. So in terms of both, kind of see zoomed in right there on the Asus and on the Acer. So here's the thing. The Asus has more megapixels for one, so it is a bit more detailed. Now this is in light, but you can definitely tell in darker settings that it's going to be a bit more detailed, just simply because of the fact that you can actually brighten the background. So you can have it actually see around even in darker areas, or just make it really clear even in extreme zoomed in circumstances. Whereas right here you can see a bit more fuzziness in comparison to it. So yes, the Asus is going to have the better overall camera, just because it's 8 megapixel, and as well, you have more settings on the camera, whereas the Acer, you can't really do anything to the picture. You have scenic shots and everything like that on the Asus, so it's going to go better over with that. In terms of price, the price on this are, again, $449 for the Acer Iconia 510, and the Asus Transformer Pad 300 is going for $399 for a 32 gig. Now, in comparison, the Acer, the main reason why I would say that justifies the price difference is honestly the battery life. The battery life on this is about 11 hours, whereas on this it's about 8 hours. Sometimes even 7.5. One of the other things though is the standby time is amazing on the Acer, just like the Samsung Galaxy tablet or the iPad, where really when you don't use it, it drains no battery. The Asus, however, if you do not use it for a day, you will actually notice the battery has gone down a lot since compared to when you last used it. Just something that Asus has never had good battery management on all their products, to be honest, when it comes to tablets. Now, an important thing to note is on here, you actually have the ability to use 2 cores instead of the quad core that it comes with by just going on the power saving mode. Power saving mode will only make it a dual processor, so you can get about then 9 to 10 hours on this Asus Transformer Pad that way. Of course, you are no longer using a quad core tablet, you're using a dual core tablet then, because it's only going to be using 2 of the cores, but an important thing to note and for you guys to have. Now, obviously, one thing that you can't replicate on the Acer is the keyboard dock that is optional for the Asus, which makes the battery life longer, which was one pro of the Acer, and which also gives you, full SD card slot, and the USB, which the Acer comes with, and the Asus does not. So, which one do I recommend? Honestly, overall, I would still recommend the Asus Transformer Pad 300, just because for the $50 price difference, Acer doesn't justify it enough. What I'm guessing will happen is the same thing that happened last year. If you do not recall, Acer was actually the first Wi-Fi Android tablet on the market last year, and it did not sell as soon as the Asus came out. The Asus came out about a month or a month and a half after the original Acer, and once the Asus came out at a lower price point than the Acer did, the Acer never sold till it dropped price. So my prediction is that the Acer will eventually drop down to $399 to match Asus, and then it'll start selling. Until then, though, I just wouldn't see why you would get the Acer. I would personally recommend the Asus Transformer Pad 300. Alright guys, if you have any other questions about the comparison, definitely feel free to let me know, and please subscribe to see other comparisons between these tablets against other tablets. Alright guys, this has been RICKY, the Android Guy.